Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Another day of Pro League is upon us. Today being brought to you by PaySafeCard. You got a favourite player you want to vote for? Head over to paysafecard.com/fanvote. But talking of terrible players, we've got John Allen here. I've seen your Tinder game. How are you feeling in today's game?
First of all, you haven't seen my Tinder game, and second of all, you haven't seen me play, so I have no idea where this flame is coming from.
Oh, well.
What a rude introduction.
We'll keep it off cam. We'll talk about it later in the break. But games for today, obviously kicking things off, G2 versus Big. Expectations, we've only got about a couple of minutes to talk about this, so let's run through quickly. What do you think is going on here? Well,
both of these teams relatively towards the top of the table. Both do have the strengths to come through. We've seen Big have a little bit of a recent slump in these last couple of days, taking it against Ninjas in Pyjamas. They took 16-7, I think it was on Cash, and 16-4 on Mirage. They took the loss. So it was a little bit unfortunate there that they weren't able to do that. So maybe they're not sort of in the groove. We saw G2 yesterday as well, strong against Heroic. They did let it slip a little bit towards the second halves of those games, but nonetheless, they did still come out with that 2-0 regulation victory. So for me, G2 are looking a little bit more favourite, but I think a 1-1 is definitely a possibility here.
Yeah, of course, Big being the team that obviously had a great run at the Major, proved themselves to be a strong opponent, and then kind of since then have fallen off. We've not really seen too much from them. They didn't really perform at all at ESG. I think they went out in groups there as well. So yeah, Big have been very underwhelming. G2 on the other hand, obviously not reaching the I mean, they've reached the peak of what we can expect, but they've not held it consistently. So coming into this one, it's going to be interesting to see. Jumping straight in, before we go live, prediction for each map. Cobble first, second will be Overpass. Which one's going where?
I think G2 are going to take Cobble, and I think Overpass could go the way of Big, but Cobble definitely... but G2 definitely still have a shout in that one as well.
I'm gonna call a 2-0 G2, but yeah, I agree with the maps. I think if any map is going the way of Big, it'll be the second. But let's jump right into this. Look at Tabson pushed up, and unfortunate start as well. MBK gonna kick things off here for the T side. It's G2 bursting up towards the save bomb site. Next as well, caught up along aggressively for Big, and he'll go down. G2 already storming over this bomb site.
There's the two more frags just to follow it up, and G2 have a convincing hold on the B site, but there's still Legia at the back, finds 3 headshots, takes his time, and now he's looking for the loss, and all of a sudden, there's the switch around for G2 Esports. They now have 1 player left at the back, and that's just going to be Keith to follow it up with a very nice hold from Legia. That triple headshot with the USP really just completely decimated the push from G2 when they looked so strong.
Yeah, a great round for Big to start off, though, and Legia obviously not known to be the fragging power behind Big, at least. That's typically in the hands of Nex or Tabson, and even occasionally Keeve when he gets that AWP in play, but a good start to things here on the CT side. G2 force up. And setting up again towards Big, just looking to repeat the same process, but this time they don't allow Big to get aggressive. They just push right on in. Flashes over the top, all their utility used just 5-10 seconds into the round, and bursting out will find them absolutely nothing, decimated in the site. Shox is the only man to even do damage, but past that, it's going to be Big mowing down the rest of G2, so seeming like a second round, unless Shox has anything to say about it. He doesn't. Tabson finds a kill on Big. Only lose 1 player, so very effective anti-eco there.
Shut down the push straight away. That's exactly what you want to be doing if you're on the side of Big. They do put that second round on the board. We saw a lot of second round upsets in halves with G2's games yesterday. Yeah. And that was sort of a running theme across all of their games, was that they'd lose the pistol round and go in for those quick frags.
Well, not even that. They'd sometimes win the pistol round and then lose against a force buy, and it would come back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it was always sort of a little bit back and forth, but Big going to be playing a little bit more of a default game here coming into the first map of this, well, 2 best of 1s. Technically, it is still 2 best of 1. Yeah. That's how it works. But round number 3, nobody's taken any damage yet. G2, essentially full Glocks. I mean, you've got that P250, Keith getting the first kill. They're not expecting to win this one. They're just trying to get as much damage down as possible. 2 M4s, if they can drop those, that will be a success for them.
Yeah, easier said than done, though. And Godby committed to the drop down. The one dangerous area up against these pistols, but he's got a UMP, so even if he loses that, it's fine. We'll actually fall out. Bad timing because G2 burst on in, but maybe that will keep him alive here. Shox still with the P250, and Big just keeping them contained, not letting them push past that connector area. Shox goes for the boost. I like to see this as well. Off angle, catches off CT's playing inside the connector, but it won't matter because flashes in. Godby chasing for these kills, and yeah, G2, they made it out of the connector, but they'll, well, I was about to say make it no further. Somehow Body drops Legia with the M4, so despite the early round start on the pistol, won't be able to continue that effect. And yeah, this round is pretty much done. Apex is going to be hunted, and Big, they'll pick it up 3-0. They lose the M4. Hopefully someone will be able to save that. They do. Lose the Vanis in the process, but now they can just play the bonus round again. They've got money to play with. They've been very successful on these anti-ecos. Only lost 1 player per round, so money is going to be looking good for the Germans. And G2, full AKs up.
So first rifle round going through. They're trying to play in this bonus round big, have 2 UMPs on the board, saved from the last round. They'll be looking to keep those on board. Keeve on the AWP. Where are they going to choose to put him? He is just making his way over to hold Sua's position towards A, and lucky him, looks like G2 are going to be pushing towards that A bomb site. So a chance to show off his skills. They haven't executed just yet, but Legia should be getting a little bit of information now. Nades start to come in. He's just going to smoke that approach off and fall back towards the A site. Nice and disciplined fallback there from Big, as they do just sort of decide, do you know what, we don't want to take these challenges. And Apex proves exactly why you don't want to do that, as he is able to take down Legia with a push down the stairs. They're just going to try and halt this aggression once again, though, with that incendiary grenade. And now they have control and they're ready to launch their attack on towards this A bomb site on G2 Esports.
Yeah, slow here for Keeve. Looking to maybe try and find a pick. As he begins to push up long, will decide to fall back. Actually, G2 now going to be the aggressors into this bomb site. Kenny, yes, very close, but no AWP to contend with that of Keeve's. It's all down to timing. Actually, it's going to be Key picking into the angle, and he finds it. First pick going the way of Big at least, but still only equalizing that original kill going on to Legia. So now G2, 30 seconds left. Good utility as well. Going to be starting to throw that over the A bomb site and committing as well. Issue is, Keeve is the only man here. Godby beginning to rotate, but with just a UMP, him not being inside of the site yet, might have to play at a range on the retake. Gets himself into the hut. G2 starting to push up will spot him. Some more information gained. They have a Molotov as well for that position, but that goes in deep instead towards the back of the site. And Keeve just ruined by MBK. Already kills going the way of G2, but bomb, it's going to get dropped in 15 seconds left. They need to get that down. Luckily, Body responds, but they only just have the bomb. Will they even get time to plant it?
They certainly do. Apex is going to be sat down on that site, and they're going to be able to get the frags as well. Shoxy pushing up and getting those 2 headshots. We'll just close out the first round on the board for G2 Esports. And now it's up to them to go for that second round, because Big will be able to buy rifles into this round. If they then falter at this round, they're going to be able to buy again. Well, actually, no, depending on how much money a couple of these players have left. Okay, they haven't spent it all. I retract my words. But if they do lose again, they will be having to save, maybe go for a couple of pistols, but nothing much more than that. So G2 need to put their best foot forward here. They did invest all their money from last round. It's crucial for them to keep going on this round and keep that strength rolling. Otherwise, they will be at a disadvantage going into round number 6. But their minds are certainly on round number 5, and it looks like their minds are on A site again.
Yeah, just starting to walk on up. It had success previously. Let's see if it works again. Keeve, Molotov, the body runs through it, and he'll go down. Big already starting things off, but Keeve, he's not going to be given a second option, just gets mollied out of position. Nice nade usage from G2, knowing he's in the corner. Double stack it with an HG and a Molotov. No way he gets away from that. And even MBK finding Legia up into the middle area as well gives G2 an even further man advantage. Still, Shox holds the outside of B. G2, far from committed towards this A bomb site. The bomb still dropped back towards the hallways. They're just holding on for the time being here on this T side. Again, Big are going to be the ones pressured to try and find a kill. They're down a man. G2 have a lot of utilities. So this is similar to the previous round when we saw Keeve peek out on long. G2 are just holding. They've got utility, they've got time, no reason to rush. Wait for Big to try and get aggressive and trade these picks go on the way of G2. And Godby going to do exactly that. Pushes aggressively down through middle. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome, so we'll just sit here. But eventually, as G2 commit towards this side of the map, he's going to be in a bit of an awkward spot. It's a fake towards B, thrown in by Shoxy, but Big, they know what's up. Godby's going to be full-faced with 2 players, and he only gets 1, goes down, and even Shox on the B bomb site doing work with that AK will now leave it just on Nex.
Rotating in through that connector, he is actually looking to go for this retake. Pushing in, but he is blocked off, but smoke going to extinguish the flames. Could spawn out MBK, but no, just around the edge of the smoke. Isn't able to get anything, and once more the bomb hasn't been planted yet. It will take a little bit of time, but Kenny S makes that time 0. G2 Esports put that second round on the board, and now, as we said before, Big, they don't have much money to play with. They might be able to buy 1 or 2 pistols. Obviously, they do have that double loss round, loss bonus coming in, starting to add up. Potentially looking at getting a deagle over on Tabson or something like that, maybe even a little bit of armor. But he is just going to buy up the CZ and a P250 as well. So 2 of them will have pistols, but nothing much more. G2 Esports should be able to run over this round.
Yeah, they've even got a Mac 10 just to farm up some more cash in the process. As Apex, he walks into middle. Flash will be going through. He spots Legia as well, running back up the stairway. Apex beginning to move on in, sees him cross as well, but if he chases him, he's got to watch his back, because there's going to be Keeve behind him with the CZ still pushed up on long. Apex spots him, or at least hears him, and he will go down at least, so one kill going the way of Big, but again, just a MAC-10 picked up. That's the issue with these MAC-10 rounds. Now that MAC-10 will really offer nothing to Keeve. He's probably still going to use his CZ, although no, doesn't offer it. Doesn't matter anyway. He goes down to MBK, and G2 trading back that kill. Now they begin to push up towards A, but this is, again, this is a G2 round here. There'd have to be some massive mistakes for this to go the way of Big, and already the A bomb site's clean, and got B having to rotate on in. Damage has been done to G2, but not enough to find any more than a kill onto Apex, so maybe he could get some exits, maybe he can mop up Kenny S or MBK, for example, but we'll see.
He has the option to go for that MAC-10 that was dropped over towards A long, if he is able to get there unscathed and unnoticed, but he is going to be spotted out by Shox, and the headshot just comes through straight away. It's going to be another round going over to G2 Esports, but now Big should be able to buy up into this round. They have got a little bit of money behind, and Keeve is going to be, again, on their AWP. We do see a pause come through. Not too sure who that's going to be from. Might be from Big.
Technical for G2.
Okay, fair enough.
Opposite what we expect coming into that buy round as well. But yeah, just be waiting for that to get sorted out, and we'll be jumping back in. So yeah, off to a good start for G2 again. Big did a good job of at least closing out those anti-eco rounds, but moving into the buys, it's been an all-French derby here. As Big look to change things now with a good buy behind them, at least a lot of utility. As you said, that AWP back on Keeve is going to be pretty dangerous as well, and loss bonus starting to build up here for the Germans. So even if they do lose this round, they'll be able to eco one and then buy up fully next. So double AWP potential, but not only do you not see that run on Cbble often, but you don't see it run on this team often at all. This is one of the few teams, I would say, that are successful that don't run the double AWP at all. So it'll be interesting to see how Big approach this coming into the first buy round. G2 putting a lot of emphasis over on A so far, which has been the biggest surprise for me at least, because again, Cbble is a map where you see constant fast B rushes. We saw a similar map yesterday. I think, was it G2? I can check actually. On Cbble yesterday when we saw, no sorry, FaZe Godsend was actually pretty much only A pressure for FaZe the entire game. They only went for 2 set B rounds and they lost both of them on the T side. So every other round was an A play, or at least ended with them just killing everyone before the bomb went down. So G2 already repeating that basically, but this time they set up towards a B bomb site early on. It's going to be Big sending 4 players there as well. And Legia alone on A long. We saw this position get a bit awkward yesterday for Godsend when they sent Twist up into this angle, and Rain was constantly a nuisance. We'll see if it happens again, but this time luckily G2 are focused towards B.
Next, holding a close angle here towards Broken Wall. G2 playing it slow, playing it steady, trying to bait out utility from Big, and you can see it's worked. Most of their players weren't able to buy too much, and they have now used a significant portion of it. They are just holding passively. There's 3 players to contend with as they push out onto the site. Drop isn't covered whatsoever, except from the player potentially pushing up towards Connector. Now Kenny S is going to lead the charge up towards that Broken Wall position. Tries to spot out any players playing Chicken Coop, but they're not going to be there. Now the push comes onto the site, and Kenny S is first to slay. Tabson goes down as MBK wraps around and gets a second as well. Body cleaning out a third means that Big are only left on towards that A site, and they have to save here. An AWP and a FAMAS in the hands of the 2 surviving Big players.
Yeah, again, a really awkward round now for Big moving forward, because not only do they, lose it and allow G2 to get another one, but they can't really fully buy around this. They'll get money in their banks. They'll get 2,900 after this loss, but that's not enough to buy around 2 saved weapons. With 3, maybe you could drop over a couple of FAMASes and have a UMP or whatever. But with 2 saved guns, it's really awkward. You can definitely get 2 FAMASes and a 3rd player on a UMP, for example, but it's not exactly a great buy, and G2 have been tearing Big apart with these half buys. Already we've got Shoxy on the hunt, looking for these players up towards A long. Smoke going to go down, but again, G2 have money. He can afford to chase through that, so we probably will see it. Flash goes through. Oh no, this is unfortunate, but luckily Legia is there to save the day, so Big pick up the kill. Let's see what they do with this one. I'm expecting with Gobby they just won't buy, because they want full weaponry, they want full utility, so half investment, get pistols, get armor on these 3 extra players, but next round when the loss bonus maxes out, they'll be able to go for a full buy, whether or not they save the AWP and the FAMAS as well on Legia and Keeve.
Nonetheless, they do have a shot into this round. We saw quite the number of eco bashes on yesterday's games. Those pistols really starting to turn up in a lot of these games and really doing damage, but G2 Shox will find one. Body echoes that as well. And now They have 3 players left holding, all towards that B bomb site for Big, sorry. G2 still stacking up towards the bomb is over towards B, but they do have those lurks. They're wary of those players rotating around. And I like that. That's very smart from them. They're aware that Big will be on that sort of eco situation. They won't be fully having that sort of presence that they would have done on those sites. They're going to be trying to go for those smart, sneaky plays, trying to get in close. Holding passive is exactly what you should be doing against this sort of a team. Obviously, they have to contend with the AWP and the FAMAS as well, that they were able to save up from the last round. But nonetheless, they are very wary, and they've left it relatively late to go for this B push. Keeve on the B site could prove difficult.
Yeah, it's all down to him. He can make or break this round for Big. Timing will force him to re-peek, and he grabs Kenny S as well. That's the AWP down here for the T side. Good start, but he's got far more to do, being the only player on this site really with a proper weapon to work with. Second one coming in. Legia supports, and Keeve watching the Rapids actually got B to support as Legia goes down. Apex last man standing in the double peek. It could come through. The Molotov forces out one, but it's got B wrapping around the side. You said Big had a chance into that round, and they had more than just a chance. 4 going to be picked up here from the CT side. Good start into this map again, but G2 still with the money. Loss bonus. Got to be reset for Big if G2 can pick this one up.
Exactly as you said, this is going to be such a crucial round for Big if they want to be trying to, if they want to extend their comeback into this half. 4-4, very even scoreline, but if they take the loss here, they're looking at sort of a 7-4 scoreline sort of prediction. If they take that loss, obviously, as you said, that loss bonus being reset really would be bad for them at this point. So they're going to be looking to hold it passive again. Don't give G2 any ground. Try and hold all those angles, and they're doing just that. You can see Keeve up towards the long. They're covering from the A side. They're actually rotating that connector player towards B, but he is going to get called back by Keeve, who's going to spot out, well, hear out more than spot out those 3 players on towards the A long. So G2, once more, putting pressure towards the A site. We'll see if it works out.
Yeah, and Key's not got support from Legia as well. This is why he's holding an angle so close to the smoke. He's got his teammate there. They'll actually be going for a boost over the top to try and catch him off guard, but no one's playing such a far back angle. But they can catch him, surely not. But Keeve shot through the smoke by Apex, and Shock's just going to run up as well. Why not G2 running rampant over this bomb site? It's going to be all going the way of the French once again. A 4v2 already in play, and both big players left on the rotation. Godby gets shot through the door, and Tabson is nowhere to be seen. G2 finding that reset, and that 7-4 scoreline that you predicted is looking very, very likely, because right now we're going to be expecting probably a force buy from Big and then the full eco. So G2 looking very good going forward. It's just how much damage can Tabson do. G2 have already built up a huge bank, so every kill he gets here is slightly whittling away at that, but it's going to require a lot more than 2 frags on the CT side saving to disrupt G2's money going forward.
They will have enough for an AWP next round if they wanted to buy it, but I doubt, as you said, there's no reason they would go for that. I mean, that loss bonus being reset. They could potentially just put one on Keeve. Yeah. He will get that money back, but
that's the thing. I feel like we saw this 2 rounds ago, didn't we? We saw that saved FAMAS and saved AWP, and that won them the round with 3 pistols. Realistically, if they just go for the same setup and just go for one AWP, that would make a lot of sense. An AWP and then 4 pistols, they're forcing anyway, right? It's not going to be too much of an issue. Alternatively, Keeve, he half invests here and saves money to buy up the AWP in the proper buy round, because obviously if he buys it now, he won't have enough in 2 rounds' time. So it's like, what do you want to prioritize? Because you're going to have to save them for as well.
They're figuring that out as well. They do go for a tactical pause. It is a little bit of a conundrum. It's kind of, there's no right answer in this sort of situation. And a lot of the time you'll see in these rounds there'll be a cut and dry, okay, this is our course, this is our strategy. But with something like this, it really is a matter of how confident you feel in yourself. If Keeve is saying, do you know what, I'm on point today, I'm hitting these shots, give me that AWP this round, and we'll eco-bash them like we did last time. Yeah,
we've been seeing a lot of difference in terms of how players spend economy, especially coming up recently. I think LDLC being the prime example of that. A team that we've been watching in Pro League especially, when they're on the T sides and they have, good money for a buy, have 5-6k, not an issue. They actually, a lot of the times, only on the T sides, half buy up, get full UMPs, and then, if they lose that round, they don't just go back down to having to eco. They can buy up AKs again because they get a little bit of loss bonus, and they only spend half their money anyway. So they've been quite random in how they spend their cash, which has been a nice meta change. I wouldn't even go as far as saying meta, but yeah, AWP for Keeve obviously saved Tabson on the M4. Big won it before, they can do it again.
All they need to do, play it smart, play it safe. They do have a bit of utility as well to boot. So G2 won't have the easiest of times pushing on, but if they're able to get that frag off onto Keeve early, then they're going to open it up. Then they're really going to be in the driving seat for the rest of this round. But as it stands, they have some stiff competition. Just holding passive once more. They're doing the same thing. They're never going for those aggressive forward positions, except for this round. Obviously, Cbble has pushed up all the way into sewers, playing close with that CZ. So that kind of makes sense. Trying to go for the smoke, trying to dissuade any aggression towards that A site. They feel like they're just trying to channel G2 towards that B site, and Kyiv opens it up onto body with that AWP that they spent all that money on. The investment's starting to pay off.
Yeah, this is what you need Kyiv to do. You need to play, have him playing in forward angles to try and get picks. Now, the defense is going to be a little bit stronger in terms of manpower, but not weaponry. And G2, knowing Kyiv's on this B site, just going to rotate off instantly. Just go, okay, they've only got two proper weapons in play into this round. They know they've reset them, so let's just walk into the A-bomb site. And that's where tabseN is, already doing work with the M4. A second kill coming through, and a missed shot from Kenny S. You can't afford to miss those. He gets dinked as a result, and Legia just runs in through middle. Big are running wild over this round, and only one kill. Make that now two has come in for G2.
Oh, they have managed to get a little bit of an opening, but they are now against Big with an AK and an AWP and a CZ playing up close on Cbble. So they do have a lot to contend with. They're pushing on. There is a presence on site from Big. They do need to clear that out, and they're not going to be able to do it. Cbble just holding on the site close. We'll find the CZ shot, but Kenny S will annihilate the rest of the presence. The time's running low, and that's going to be a final kill going over to Kenny S, but one more left standing means that the CTs just take the round.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them do it twice now, at least on the CT side. Big have picked up 2 rounds where they only have saved weapons, or at least a couple of rifles to play with. And they've been doing a very good job of it. Unfortunate for G2 to leave it so late. They've left a lot of these setups late, though. If we look back to their first A-side attack, where Kyiv had the AWP and got aggressive onto Kenny, we actually saw Big only get the bomb down with 8 seconds remaining. You know, they have been playing these late-round attacks on Cobblestone, so interesting to see if this catches them off anymore. It's going to be an unfortunate way to lose a round, but going forward, we will see. Either way, Big, they only kept one player alive, so their money's not going to be perfect either. Need to putting what they have into this, but a MAC-10 on body again. This is something else we've been seeing a lot more of recently. They know that Big are going to have a buy, obviously, but for 2 reasons. One, expecting no head armor. That's why Body's buying out the MAC-10. But also, you can just charge into a bomb site with a MAC-10, run and gun, and literally just jump around corners. And not only are you very hard to hit, but you're mobile and you output a lot of damage fast. And even you play a role as basically a trade player. Body can just run into bomb sites first, die, and then allow someone to trade him instantly. So it kind of grants G2 the option of getting that 1-for-1, which will favor the T side. So it'll be interesting to see if they play around Body going into this round, because they could have bought him an AK. They had the money to.
Only one player without that, sorry, 2 players without the helmet, Legia and Kyiv. They're going to be the main focuses of that MAC-10. The most damage obviously coming from those headshots, but with that helmet does negate a significant chunk of it. Body will be looking for one of them though. Kyiv around the corner, slowing it down, playing it close with that UMP, waiting for any turn of the corner. He knows there's players there, those shots starting to ring through, and he's just going to back off. Legia is there to support him, so if he needs to fall back, he can do that into the waiting arms of his teammate back towards the A site. G2 now starting their push along A long and trying to open up any sort of frags, any sort of niche that they can fill, but they're just not able to find anything. Big playing disciplined, falling back. They've opted to put a lot of presence down towards that underpass, and they have called one of their extra players to rotate off that B site. Of course, G2 stacked up towards the A site, and Kenny S trying to find those shots onto the A site.
Yeah, loads of SMGs in play here for Big. It would be a miracle if they actually picked it up. But what's going on? Legia, 2 kills with the UMP, upgrades to the AK as well. He's blinded, and he goes down as a result. But G2 only just retrieved the bomb as they begin to push onto this A-bomb site. And still, we've had the cavalry rotate in. Big have now players on the site. Only one left to move, but tabseN's now finding it to be called as he comes back in through the door. Kenny with only a Molotov. And again, 20 seconds. G2 leaving it too late. If he had maybe a minute or two on the... a minute on the clock, he could have had a chance to maybe wrap back round towards B, re-congregate up towards long, for example, but no, he had 20 seconds, he had to make a play, and he will go down. Big, another round on the board. This is ridiculous. They're picking up very, very silly rounds. SMGs, 2 guns, you know, time after time, they can't seem to win 5 rifles versus 5 rifles.
They're playing smart on those rounds where they need to do just that, and G2 are falling into the traps left, right, and center. We've seen them yesterday. They were coming up with these traps of their own on G2. But this time, it seems like Big are conducting the rest of these rounds and just putting G2 on the back foot every single time, playing those angles, rotating around beautifully, disciplined fallbacks, being able to regroup with their team and going for the double faces when they need to, and just winning the duels as well. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it only matters whose crosshair is on whose head. And that seems to be going in Big's favor right now as G2 try and push in towards drop, but Nex is ready and waiting. Only gets one as MBK clears that position out. And now G2 turn their focus towards the B site for the first time in a while, and Body opens it up.
Yeah, like you're rotating in, got some damage done with a pistol round and from this position, but here's a jumping around the corner. It's going to be Body actually opening that up. Kenny thinking with the MP9 will upgrade to an M4 now, and Keeve already looking to probably just go back and save unless he gets granted a free pick. He does, but won't be able to hit the shot, now falling back. It's G2 to find their 6th round as Keeve holds on to this gun. But again, I'm not too worried going forward. I was about to say, if they save that up, it could still have impact into the next round. But no, actually gets saved from Kenny, so he makes money on that hunt. Big, on the other hand, looking at this, their money is going to be an awkward spot. We could expect a force buy here because they can't really buy up next round. They can try. Obviously, you'll have Legia and Tabson with a bit of an issue for money, but players like Keeve, Godby, and Nex will all be able to. And actually, yeah, they are going to single eco. With the fact that they're not fully investing down here, I can imagine that even though they've just been reset, they're probably just going to go for one eco, buy up next round because they have spare money to play with. But we'll see. Again, always an option for them to pick up this round. We've seen them do similar stories. This time, going to be on no rifles for the big side.
Keeve trying to be all sneaky, hiding around the corner. Apex, you need to check the angle, does just that. Able to get the first frag, and Big finally having some of their lurkers being shut down. Shox pushing on over on the B side. Will be able to get one, but Legia gets the frag as he pushes through, picks up the rifle. Body decides that's not yours. Find his keepers, loses weepers, and G2 able to make sure that they do lose that rifle. But it does leave Nex free to push up around behind them and towards the long. Does get shut down, but that could have been brutal.
Oh, no.
They'd have gone for that, and yeah, they're just going to force that rotation coming out from Godby. Just pick up the kill. Easy pickings as G2 Esports put 7 up on that scoreboard. Very close though in this first half.
Indeed it is, and Big ecoing that previous round allows them to put money down here. Issue is they won't have a lot of it. CZ, UMP, a charity shot buy here from the big side, and the reason they went for this is they want to get more than 6 moving forward, or even more than 7 as well, because this now allows for a couple of buys in a row. If they win this, they can buy up next, whereas if they went for the double eco, they'd only be able to buy up fully on the last round of the half, meaning that even if they had success there, it wouldn't hurt G2's economy. They have a chance now to bash back down and maybe pick up an 8-7 half if this one succeeds. We'll see. One player close in the middle area, that's Legia. Putting the 1CZ on its own is a risk for Big, but they pre-rotate players back down to support. Both Godby and Tabson are going to be joining him. So now a lot of defense here, and again, we've talked about how much pressure we've seen from G2 on this A-bomb site. They've barely touched B, which is surprising because they've had success towards that side of the map post-pistol round. Now G2 starting to walk up once again. Will they fall into the trap of this triple stack from Big?
Chucking in all their utility, leaving it late once again. G2 now rotating off of that A-bomb site and all the way, off of the A-bomb site and all the way over to B, through drop and through that, the long on towards B, but they're still putting that presence towards the A site, and this stack, Kenny S trying to distract, putting that up there, will get taken down, but that is going to prompt a lot of rotates from Big. They're going to be playing off of the B site. Next now, last man left on site will just be slain by Apex as he turns the corner, spots out another player as well. They're just going to run riot over on this B site. They have control of it. They are going to be able to just chuck down that utility that they still have left behind against Big, who really don't have much to play with here. They have Tabson on that AWP with the HE grenade and 2 of those flashbangs, but I reckon they're just going to want to save here. They can't really go for that aggression. G2 just have such a firm grasp of this as they prompted those rotates, and that stack from Big just not working out.
Yeah, Legia, I understand him in that position, wants to try and grab a rifle away from G2 moving forward. If he can upgrade that CZ, that'd be perfect, but he gets taken down. And G2, known for having a stronger T side on Cobble than CT side, again, some teams a little more CT favoured, although I would argue definitely this map is T-sided, but it does come down to the team a lot of the time and the matchup specifically, but G2 statistically are better on this T side. So this is kind of what you expect moving forward, and this is one of the 2 maps that we didn't really think Big were going to be able to take, if any at all. We talk about how they've been pretty underwhelming as of late. I mean, yesterday alone they lost to NIP, what, 16-7, 16-4 in EPL. So, yeah, underwhelming. Hopefully they'll step things up again. They've got one more buy into this half, triple UMP. Going to have a FAMAS as well, and even an AWP up on Key. But it's the AWP of Kenny this time to strike. Nice shot onto Key will begin things well for G2 as they set up now on a man advantage.
Looking for more as well as Tabson gets fragged down to 56 HP. Dropped down to 29 now. They are just pressuring him back towards that B bomb site, but he's still going to play it up close, go for the spray down and pick up the frag as well. Body does fall. They haven't been able to get the trade, and Apex just managed to close that one out. The nade finding one as well. Shox falls, and G2 Esports have an even scoreline. Legia on the flank picks up the kill onto the bomb carrier. They know where it is. They know what they're planning to do. So Big have all the cards in their hand right now. There is MBK. He is going to be playing towards the A-bomb site, rotating through that connector, so they have this sort of weird pincer that they can go for. If God B isn't careful, he could be caught unawares if MBK opts to jump back up towards the drop. He is completely unawares and lands the headshot with the spray. That opens up the ability for G2 to just go through that aggression on towards the drop. Now the B site once again in their sights, and Apex cleans out the rest of it. Now it's just Big with one player left. Last round of the half, they have to go for the retake. The AWP is not the rifle you want to do it with, but I expect he's going to be looking maybe to pick up something else. Potentially not. Seems like he is just going to go for the AWP. That one-shot potential, just a little bit too tasty for him. Legia pushing up the long, trying to spot out any of the players. Full flash will now be aware of the player playing on the stairs. That Molotov will try. Just give him something to go for, but that Molotov, again, just blocking him off. He is able to land the headshot onto MBK, but it's too little too late, it seems.
Yeah, not really a lot of time already. Apex has started to run, and that Molotov, it won't stop anything. It's going to be caught on the cross, and Apex picks it up for G2. 9 rounds on the half. So leading this one, but it's not over for Big. We'll see if they can bring things back into question as we move into the second half in just a minute after the break. Welcome back. It's going to be Big here on the T side, up against the one that only G2 Esports. Dual Berettas up for MBK as well. Second half in, and Big with a bit of utility on God B. No smoke to play with, but Molotov double flash. Those flashes bursting over, and Big running into the bomb site. Legia, he's been starring on these pistol rounds so far, and he'll continue it again. First kill, Dink as well, chasing these players on the rock, and he finds himself a second, maybe a third, but it's Apex to trade, doesn't matter. Big will clean up the round, sorry. And just a fast play for Big, they pick it up. Much as how they got a nice defending B site play with a pistol, they had the same execute on T side. It works perfectly.
We saw a lot of presence towards that A side of the map from G2 on their T side, which is uncharacteristic, especially on Cbble, to go for that side of the map, to go for that A site. Big. They're just like, hang on a minute, we remembered how to play this map. Let's just do that standard B thing where we all run at B site and then try and get the frags. Pays off for them. Standard sort of pistol round on the T side. You kind of, it's pretty much a coin flip as to who picks up that round on those fast rushes. And Big come up tails or heads, depending on which they call. I don't know. I wasn't there. As to who won that round. So they do now move into this round. And AK being brought up on Legia and that Galil as well means that they are slightly wary of those of the armor potentially being brought up for G2, but not much to be seen.
Yeah, luckily here these SMGs are going to be way more effective for Big just due to the lack of armor. Typically, double rifle on Cbble is risky. I'd like to run at least 3. But we'll see this burst into the B-bomb site, see what Big can do. Lack of armor means G2 need to hit these Deegs. CZ's not so effective armorless, and that's exactly why Deegs are good. First shot from Kenny lands perfectly. Shocks as well close. If he can get one, no, he'll fall. So Big trade things back into a 4-on-4, continuing the push into the site. Lots of players up close. Already Keeves worked his way towards a fountain, and yeah, Big will be running wild. Again, seems like another round for them. They saved the UMPs. Hopefully we'll be able to find an AK or a Galil. Nope. Doesn't really matter too much. Should just be anti-eco again. G2 can't invest.
Yeah, they're playing the bonus round now. Well, not really the bonus round, as they do come up against pretty much these full pistols, although G2 didn't invest pretty much any money into that round. They bought some Deagles and only Apex with some armor as well. They're going to be full saving here. Only a flashbang being bought up for Shocks. So they have, again, they've just decided, do you know what? We're not going to spend any money. We're going to stack this B site. We're going to go fast and loose. We're going to play it close. 2 kills already going over, but they will one by one start to fall. That nade doing so much damage to Apex. They're both backed off towards the stairs as tabseN finds one and the second as well. And that's going to be Big, taking the second round of this half.
Yeah, odds as well favouring G2 moving forward. I'd say they're fair. Again, this definitely isn't a free win for G2 by any means. They've been as inconsistent as Big have, maybe to a lesser level, but still not really performing how we expect them to, at least this season in EPL, but we'll see as we jump into this one. First buy round here for both teams on the second half. We've still got the bonus in play, a couple of UMPs as Big go fast in towards middle. It's Apex on the receiving end, spots them all crossing, nice spray, but he only gets one. Next trades, and with the rotation of the AWP, it's Kenny alone, he doesn't find anything. Big are running over the A-bomb site, and there's no CTs even in it.
Right, except for MBK, he's playing towards underneath that balcony, so he's not quite on site, but is rotating in through. Keep will shut him down, but Body takes his place, and he is going to be furious. 2 kills going over to him, and now control of the bomb as well. Given over 1 versus 1, just Body and just Godby pushing up the stairs towards this A site. Body actually suspects he's on long, but not going to be the case. He's moving towards that bomb ever closer. Actually will go through the vent, so playing from that balcony position will have a little bit more of a vantage point, but dropping down will give that sound away. Body, don't think he saw him there.
No one saw him.
4-3? 4-3? He should have been on the screen.
Right, just didn't see him. I think he's heard the drop though, and that'll be it. Body finds a kill. Oh, sorry, Godby finds a kill onto Body. And Big will pick up the round regardless. Comes down to the 1v1, but with the money they made from those anti-ecos in the previous couple of rounds, it'll be fine for Big. They can still afford to rebuy all those rifles. 10 and 11k on Godby and Key respectively, but he'll probably want the AWP in soon. Not for this one. I'd like to just either a pistol or an SMG in play, but okay, he gets the AWP. Not too much of an issue, but up against pistols, it can be a risk. Big have no requirement to put it into this round, but maybe just hoping or just buying it in case G2 force. Wouldn't make a lot of sense, but again, you know, we look at French teams and we look at force buys. As Big just going to be, again, putting pressure down on the B-bomb site. Light investment from G2, 2 armoured players and a few pistols across the board.
We saw this again in that second round. They put that minimal investment in, they full saved on the next round, and then they brought up rifles into the next. Now, of course, that loss bonus has started to ramp up. They will be able to just essentially full buy into this next round, I imagine. Didn't quite take stock of the economy at the end of the round, but they should have some economic strength moving forwards. 1 rifle, 1 save, 1 rifle, 1 save. That's the sort of standard approach you see once you start to get into these losing chains of rounds. And Big need to capitalize on this this position here that they have themselves in, obviously with the advantage, and Apex up top on the hay bales will start it off, taking down one of the players. Keeve actually with that AWP, so that's dropped immediately.
Yeah, as I said, it's a risky gun to buy up into this round, especially when Big have no other like secondary AWP. I guess you would say Legia would be the man to take it, but even then they don't have like a destined secondary AWP, so someone has to pick that up and save it into the next round. But again, it's dangerous if it comes down to a 1v1, for example, and they have the AWP in play. There's no one going to be as confident as Keeve, so already yet to retrieve it on the Big side. They're sticking with the rifles as they try and run down these players. Hopefully we'll see someone run back and get it, Legia maybe, as he is close, but they can't let that one slip. They shouldn't allow them to win this round and not take that AWP into the next. So Legia, another kill, should be running back now. It's MBK doing more damage, but again, no one's gone for that AWP. This is the biggest issue. They invested 5k into it, and they're not even going to try and save it. Still will be their round, but I don't know. I feel like that's a massive oversight.
Well, MBK dropping another kill as well. Looks for a third, but it will not come to fruition. He is able to do a significant chunk of damage, and as you said, that AWP not being saved up. They did spend 5k on it, but I mean, they do have so much money on Big side that it's not too much of an issue.
Yeah, it's
but you don't want to be dropping those off. I mean, it's just those inches that do turn into miles eventually, and that's the sort of thing that can, at this sort of top level, can lose you those games in the long run. But I mean, they're not going to be too unhappy about that. Big do have a lot of money, as I said.
Yeah, but the argument I'd say to that, oh, Big are fine, they have money, only applies now. In 2 rounds' time, if G2 pick up the next 2 rifle rounds, for example, Big have no money, and suddenly that extra 5 grand that they just bought into the AWP this round that could have been saved is a lot more, you know, required. So it's just a silly mistake, and you would not expect that from Cbble to be picking up an AWP against Eco. But it doesn't matter, they'll seemingly be doing well in this round. Already found 2 kills, Kenny S up on long, and stuttering through, he finds a kill into Cbble.
We'll try and find a second, and it is going to ring true. tabseN does fall. You cannot push Kenny S on the AWP. He has got his groove on, and he is just going to be able to run through the bullet storm, finally just getting away with 15 HP. That Molotov will force him towards the back of the site. He has his sights on, but Keeve is trained as well. Kenny S does fall on that A site, and Big have run over and taken control. The flank is going to come out from G2. They're playing up the long towards the side of A, and the plant is going to be dropped for Big.
Yeah, the double play on long could catch out them, but again, Big have the manpower to play with as Shox and Body begin to push on round. It's actually a bait. It's Body going in, and now with Shox not instantly trading, Keeve will no way look back towards long, or at least he shouldn't. It looks clear. You see, he checks it, and he goes, no, okay, it's fine. My back is covered. Shox likely going to push in a second just to finish off that kill, even if he doesn't commit to the retake and then run right past. He grabs both kills. Now things are back on. Smoke on the bomb, and Leggy is too far away. Shox can just stick it. Oh dear, it's G2 with a round on the board, and Legia cannot do a damn thing. I like the bait play from Shox there. Not trading his teammate is just him trying to keep Big from checking that angle so he can sneak up on long and get the damage done. What a great round from Shox.
And this is so crucial. 2 players opting to fall out towards the long as well means that he was just able to spray them down, and it was actually the rifler who jumped in front of the AWPer who was already sort of taken low. And you do want to face that AWPer in a 1v1, especially on those close angles, because if you take them by surprise, they have less of a chance of hitting that shot. It becomes much more of a coin toss rather than, you know, the continued spray. Who's going to be able to land that spray first? It's if they miss their shot, you win. And if you're playing such a close angle, you're going to be at an advantage. And that's exactly what happened. He was able to spray down 2, and in the meantime, Legia had rotated all the way off, and they had no vision on the bomb. So he was just able to run down, defuse the bomb, and there's nothing that Big could do about it. That's a slip-up. And again, the AWP not being saved, that little slip-up there, these are the sorts of things that allow G2 to start to come back in and get their groove on and get this game really going in their favor.
Yeah, they pick up this next rifle round, like we said, 2 in a row. Big will be wanting that AWP money that they paid for in the last couple, now losing 2 in a row with AWPs, that being said. So we'll see. G2, 2 players on the A-bomb site. Kenny S there as well, but only a FAMAS in play, and already utility is gone essentially for G2. A smoke left in the entire team, as Big will sneak their way up through the A-bomb site. It's only Apex to defend, and he can't fall back to the site as well. He's got to stay in these tunnels until he dies, because he's only got a mag 7 to play with. Kenny S already spotted in the door and removed. MBK will be rotating through and might catch him off guard. Nice double spray down. And still they haven't cleared out the hallways on long, so Apex in a pivotal position to do damage, but again, he hasn't got the range to play with, so just waiting for Big to chase him down.
They have got control of the A site now, but The push in from G2 is going to come through, and Legia does fall. So now 2 men on the site. Apex playing close to the smoke. Kiev could find himself in a spot of bother as he isn't able to land that first close-range AWP shot, but Shox trying to distract up and allow Body to sneak through. Will get the spot off, and now it's got B to fall. Just Kiev remaining. This Mag 7 not quite picking up enough damage. Kiev on 1 HP. Needs just a little tag on the toe. That's all you want, but Kiev, he has got the AWP and he's not ready to give it up just yet, but Shox has other plans. G2 take the round, and Kiev nearly with the clutch there. That was so close, and I was pretty ready for them to turn it around.
Yeah, scary stuff, but G2 again, another round on the board. That's 2 in a row now here on the CT side. Good stuff. Money starting to look good, and Big on the other hand, while the bomb plant's going to be allowing the buy moving forward. And loss bonus beginning to stack for these Germans as well. It's not looking too great here for them, so they've got to start being a little more careful. Things are falling out of their control, considering this half was looking at one point very favourable for Big. It's now not. Apex still back on the Mag 7 and UMP in play here for Body. We've got Big setting up early outside of A couple of players down through B. And, well, this is a nice stop-motion animation we're watching.
A little bit of lag, but yeah, we'll get through it.
It's just, it's Go TV lag, so it's, you know, not much control over it. Hopefully it will stop.
Soon TM.
Valve time.
Pushing up onto the site. Big. Again, with that presence towards A site, this is something that we're seeing a lot more across all of these cobblestone maps that we're seeing, is more presence on that A site from the T side. It used to be just default B, but now it seems like teams have said, do you know what? I remember there's another site on this map. We're going to try and be able to go for those takes and go for those pushes, and it looks like they're starting to figure out how to do just that. The meta's sort of shifting towards that pattern where you can go for B, but you can sort of put all your eggs into the A basket and try and go for that push. Don't think we've seen many A pushes that haven't just been a full 5 stack. Well, maybe 4 if you've got that lurk over in towards the middle sort of apartments of the sort of connection between the 2 sites, but seems like A site's definitely on the cards here, and the Mag 7 playing up close. Oof. And who came out on top of that one? Not too sure, but it's going to be G2.
Who's winning?
G2 have 3 men, but the plant is going to go over towards Big. The nade kill did come through as well, so they're just going to start pushing up onto the site. Body playing up close. Next has the CZ. The UMP won't be able to do anything, and they're just going to be wiped out. Big with the 2-man hold.
I'm just watching the kill feed right now.
Yeah, it's really tricky.
Yeah, this is difficult. Well, either way, a round found for Big. Hilarious after all these buys where they have full rifles, AWPs, and everything. They get it done with that kind of buy, but still back on the board, and G2 off as well. The damage done by Big these last couple of rounds have come down to the clutch situations for G2, or at least the 2vXs, so not been making a lot of money, and as a result they don't have money to play with. Tactical pause for Big, but that will surely benefit G2 as well, who don't have cash. So we've got to work out whether they want to force into this round, whether they want to just throw in the eco. Again, they'll have to at least eco/force 2 rounds here before they get back on a buy, because they really haven't got enough money saved, unless they go for, you know, an early buy without too much weaponry or utility, for example. But I would like to not see that, considering this scoreline isn't, you know, too heavy for Big. 12-11, very close. G2 can afford to give away maybe 2 rounds and then buy up fully, allow Big to get to 14 before they contest, and we'll see what they throw into this one after this tactical pause.
Both of these teams have a relatively even scoreline on Cbble over the past 3 months. We've got G2 on 5 out of 10 wins, very close to 50%. Well, it is 50%, 5 out of 10.
Very close, yeah.
Very close.
In fact,
50%.
Exactly.
How close is a 0 difference?
You're John Anders Mass, don't pose me these questions.
At that point, it's essentially a delta, but we won't get into it.
Words.
But yeah, Big as well have a 3-7 scoreline. And now that is relatively close to 50%. Obviously, they could do better 4, but...
Matt, you there?
Yeah, I guess that's fine. Big. It's not really a round to watch, I suppose. But it's just kills going over.
I don't know if you caught the latest update of CS, at least, but this is now a boxing game. All guns have been removed. As you can see on your screen now, Legia is going to have to use his fists to kill G2. Already throwing his guns away. Not allowed to use them apparently anymore. But no, buy-up coming from Big, obviously a GoTV bug. I've been told all the GoTV issues like lag, etc. should be fixed within the next map, so don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. We've only got potentially just a few more rounds after this, unless we see some OTs, which is always possible. But 13-11 up for Big now. G2, they actually go for that early buy that we said was a possibility, but I would like to see more. So obviously not wanting big to get to 14, but that means they have to give away the option of having that AWP in play, or even double AWP that G2 seem to run on pretty much every single map. And again, utility isn't great, nor kits as well. We've not really seen many bomb plants for big. It's typically been coming down to those late round fights that either team take away. In this half, it seems like majoritarily big, and again walking back towards this A bomb site. This time a triple stack for G2. At least they've got some manpower to contend with.
Again, this A site, the focus of the aggression, something new that we are seeing both of these teams start to go for a lot more frequently. You can see they're all stacked up, 5 men towards that A site for big. Flash is starting to come through. tabseN will be first to breach, and he's able to just shut down Body straight away. Trades it off for a FAMAS, but Apex takes it out of his hands almost immediately. kennyS playing up close, has the M4, in case you can't see, but Nex will shut that one down straight away as G2 just try and rotate and recoup any of these sort of ground that Big have gained, and Cbble is just going to further that even more. Shox, now last man left standing, is over towards that B bomb site and is just going to be able to save here. He just wants to keep that armor, keep the M4 on board as well. The smoke, it's all adding up, and it's a little bit more that G2 can work with, but Big doing very, very well. This is going to be their 14th round. It's going to put them very close to being able to come in and take this first map. Yeah, very surprised they put up so much work, at least in coming into the second half. Again, G2, not the strongest CT side. We can see a rifle. Oh, no, we can't see a rifle. I was excited for a minute.
But yeah, I'm just happy that Big are doing well. Obviously, we talked about how they've been slumping as of late, not putting up the most amount of rounds, but or even scorelines versus some teams. But yeah, this is looking good so far in the first map. Obviously, Overpass coming up after this one as well. The map that we were potentially leaning towards Big in the sense of they could upset on that map. But again, roster to roster, G2 just have so much more firepower. So looking at Big, it's a surprise to see them do so well. It typically requires someone to just go absolutely massive, like either Nex or tabseN. But in this match, it's actually Cbble and Legia going huge for the team. The two players who are pretty much always at the bottom of the board, currently on, I think, 25 kills and 21 kills respectively. So those two are looking very, very good. Yeah, the top of the board for the team. Hopefully, we'll be seeing them continue in that as well. And Big set up again towards the A-bomb site. Again, not realizing there's a B-bomb site in this map. It's Apex playing close with the Mag 7. Snacks-esque will fall back and gives away the gun as well. It's Kenny supporting him, but again, only a CZ. G2 don't have weaponry to work with and already lost one gun.
kennyS rotating down towards the tunnels, is able to pick up a frag with that CZ, and MBK playing up close with that MP9 as well will be able to have a little bit of an impact. There's 2 more kills going over for G2, and there's 2 players left on Big to contend with, and MBK up top not quite able to get all the damage through, and Big just able to close it out. But Cbble with a nice couple of turnarounds and 15 rounds on the board. Now Big have the chance to shut it out right here, right now. G2 have to throw your money at this one.
Cbble looking fantastic into this game again, as well as Legia, who's put up 2 3K rounds in both pistols. Just strong performance from typically the players that we look to play the more supportive roles, or obviously the IGL of Cbble. So it's nice to see them actually having a good game and an important game at that. Obviously, we're getting into the last 2 weeks of Pro League. Every match really does count for Big here, who aren't in that top 6 place, as we see just 1 round away from taking this victory on map number 1, Cobblestone. G2 throwing all their money into one basket, a single rifle to play with, SMGs, shotgun, CZ as well on Shox, really not got a lot. And Big, they've refocused down towards B, but with the success they've had on A so far, maybe this will be the chance for G2 to catch them off guard. They've got 3 players here. Legia's lurking up on A, and already Big starting to run out of utility. Only 2 smokes left across the team as G2 use a hell of a lot of utility to hold them back on the plateau. But now it's down, now it's out. We're going to start to see Big aggress here. Shox and Body close. Smoke and Molly going over here for Big, just trying to get players off of that tree boost. And Legia, even doing damage on A, may force an early rotation. We'll see Kenny actually pull his way off of the B bomb site, but it's completely wrong right now because Big is still committed towards B. And while Kenny does get that kill, now he's got to rotate back in late. Shox has a lot of pressure on his shoulders as he needs to put up the numbers as he wraps round 1 for 1. Big in a 2-on-2.
Make that a 1-on-2, and they do need a miracle from Cbble to close it out. Not quite able to do so. kennyS rotating in through just in time. We'll save up that M4. G2 Esports holding on. They're not quite done just yet, but they're still on last chance saloon. They do need to throw pretty much all of their money at these rounds from now on. They need to take this one to overtime. It's a tall order, and if they lose this round, they're out of the game. And if they lose any round coming in, that's pretty much it. The economy at this point doesn't matter. G2 just need to force every round, even if they win.
Yeah, the issue is if they lose 4 or 5 players and still win rounds, they don't have money to fall back on firstly, but they'll only get 3250 for that win bonus. So realistically, their buys will actually be worse next round if they win this with 1 player surviving than it is now. That's how CT economy works. It's crazy. So G2, a lot of pressure, but already starting to do work as Apex and Kenny pick up those first 2 kills, and that shotgun kill as well important on Apex. It gives him $900, so at least playing somewhat of an economy game here for G2, but he's traded out, and so is a second player. Legia and Tabson both out for the count. Nex walking into B, trying to find this pick. Shox plays close on the plateau, and Nex catches him off guard. Nice shot. Big now into a 3-on-3, but Nex is alone in the site, so if he goes down here without another kill, there's no trade potential here, and he'll start to get pushed from the side. Body catching him off guard, and Godby late into trade. He's even alone as well. I feel like at this point he should be waiting for his teammate, because if he goes down, there we go. Now we're in a 1-on-3 for Kyiv, even more undoable. Maybe a bit of an early push in for Godby.
They will have heard that drop from the player in connector, and Kenny S just closes it down now. 3 players, a hell of a lot better than just that one that we were talking about earlier, and that's going to mean that G2 are able to sort of fully buy here, and Big.
Oh no.
Looking a little bit ropey. They probably should be full saving here and trying to go for that 14-round, 16-14 scoreline, and they're going to do just that. They're going to chuck in a couple of thousands for those CZs, a little bit of armor, and that utility as well, which could prove vital if they go for a full setup on the B take. That could come in. That could come in very, very handy, and G2 Esports can't afford to lose pretty much anything here.
Aggression up on plateau. Shox drops the bomb. Don't know why that's so forward, but the trade will come through, so it's not all bad for Big. And M4 dropped in their rain as well, as they can jump onto the bomb site and grab that body. Defending from the pizza position as well has been started to smoke off as Big are using the utility to good effect. The bomb plant as well, guaranteeing them the extra money. Godby will find that. Nade forces him low, and this shouldn't be a winnable round now as a kill's starting to come through, but it's about damage, and Legia doing exactly that. Pushes him with another one. But Body, a nice cleanup. 2 for him, 2 for MBK, and 14 for G2. They find that retake, but Big at least make money off the back of it and actually get a bomb down. So they will be able to buy up next round moving forward, and they have to because it's the last of regulation time. We'll see what they throw into here. Actually, a pause coming in. I imagine that's attack for Big at this point, especially considering they need 1 more round to close this out. Otherwise, we're going to have to see OT, and that's where things could start to get dangerous here for Big.
And especially given that they do want those points, of course, Pro League starting to come to a close with these league weeks. They do need to start climbing, and of course, overtime wins do not count for as many points as regulation time wins. So if Big can close it out here, they will be able to boost themselves that much further up the scoreboard and try and sort of aim for those top 6, which everyone's vying for. G2 trying to do the same thing. They did just get the 2-0 yesterday, but every win's a win. Every point is a point, and both teams will be taking that moral to heart, trying to take it to the bank as well. Big now throwing all of their money. They will be able to full buy pretty much, yeah, absolutely everything they could ever want. Same for G2. It's very much a matter of who is going to be able to win these rifle rounds. We've seen G2 have relatively good strength on these rifle rounds before, but Big, they've let it falter towards the at the end of this second half.
It's nice to see everyone actually have full weaponry moving forward as well. The most important round of the game, and everyone's got full rifles and AWPs, but Tabson, he doesn't care what you have. 2 kills quickly in the drop down. We've not seen Big exploit this at all this half, and finally they do and have great effect. G2 are already 2 men down, but we've seen them win a round in a 3-on-5 before. There's now Apex starting to sneak down, looking to trade these early picks coming through. Legia will be able to pick it up though, and Big 5v2. These attempted refrags from G2 going array, and Kenny S, all the pressure is on his shoulders, but he's already moved back into the door. The smoke should be coming down, at least a Molotov. Big need to section off this doorway so Kenny can't rotate back in, because again, this is still doable for G2. Despite the man disadvantage, it's getting very, very dangerous. Big running over the site, push back up towards a balcony. Gob, hello, just going to get the plant, but he's open. He gets caught by Kenny. Not sure why he's in that position, but it doesn't matter. Big will close it out anyway. 16-14. A good map from them. It, as you say, gets a bit dicey towards that second half, but they do close it out. And G2 actually losing out on the map that realistically they should have won.
Unfortunately, they didn't, and that's all that matters. Numbers speak for themselves, and Big will be pretty chuffed with that victory. It's moving on to Overpass next. And again, that's the map that we thought might be a little bit more even, but now Big have taken Cobblehone. They're going to be happy with that. Are they going to be able to push forwards and try and have a repeat performance and maybe even do a little bit better?
Definitely. I mean, not only confidence is running in their favor, but Big have been looking good on this map recently. I mean, they just the other day took it off of Astralis, 19-17 in overtime. And you know, that's a team that's not only at one point been the best in the world for a while, but have also, you know, been putting up numbers on that map ever since they formed. Overpass has always been an Astralis map, and Big took them down on EPL the other day. So yeah, looking good on Overpass recently. G2 on the other hand, I mean, they're fine on Overpass. They're 3-3 on it recently, but it's not a strong map for either team, so that's one of the issues. Again, neither was Cbble. This isn't a strong map for either side. So I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this game, but yeah, great performance from Godby, especially him and Legia, putting up numbers, of course, and Tabson with a nice round of finishing things off. It will result in Big picking that one up. And moving forward to Overpass, there's always a chance for them to double down and take the 2-0. That would be so important for the standings as well. And actually, I don't know if our production are going to be ready for this, and I'm going to throw them under the bus, but we didn't have a look at the standings earlier, so let's if possible, quickly check them up on the screen to see exactly where Big are standing. Thank you very much. They're 11th place, so not looking too good. G2 9-9 up in 7th. So yeah, realistically, this double win today is going to put Big up into 7th place to basically take G2's spot, which is actually really, really good. Obviously gets them very, very close to being in that top 6 to get them to LAN finals. But either way, we'll be seeing how they perform on Overpass in just a few minutes. Before that, just a quick break, and then we'll be back with you very shortly.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G,